Hello, fellow rosarians. Thank you for joining me for another video. If you're like me, you love those catalog pictures of David Austin roses and planters, and they are just busting over the edges and they look so full and beautiful. And you've tried to put your roses in a pot and it just looks tiny. The size pot that you need to grow your David Austin roses in, or probably any rose, would be roughly 20 inches deep by 20 inches wide. And that's what I have here. This rose has been in this pot for about one season, so it's about 2 years old now. And I just received my David Austin roses, and maybe you saw that video. In that shipment, I received several Evelyn roses, and so I wanted to put them in this pot with this. I've got several other potted up that I'll show you through the season so that you can see the difference of having one rose in a pot, two, and then three. So this will be our example for 3 roses in a pot. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'll plant this up and I'll come back in a second. I'm sure you couldn't see in the time lapse, but what I did with the rose that has been in the planter for a year, I just gently moved aside the roots that were in there, and I placed on the outer edge of this planter one Evelyn, and here on the front edge one Evelyn. I used biotone, and then I covered it up and I brought the soil just to the bottom of the canes. We're not in a severe environment where I need to bring the soil an inch over where the canes start. So for me, just having it at the base of the canes is good. You're going to want to make sure that you watch your planter initially in the early spring to make sure that you understand the water requirements. If it's in the sun, it's certainly going to need to be watered more frequently. Mine are in the shade. So what I have found with mine is that usually once every 7 to 10 days, I'm watering the planter. I think it's imperative for every gardener to have a water meter. And so this is just a water meter that I got through Amazon, and I will link that down below. But you'll see that it has a button at the bottom that you can slide for pH, light, or for the moisture level. And so what I do, if you're looking at this meter up top there, is I let this rose go absolutely dry. So I check it every day while I'm getting used to its watering needs. I'm going to check it every day to watch that water meter move down to completely dry. Once it's completely dry, I give it about 2 days, 3 days. And the hope that that is for any plant that you've got in your yard is if you're forcing those roots to keep on going deeper and deeper looking for that water source, you're actually building a stronger plant. So you don't want to water them too frequently, and I know that that is a problem of mine, and that's why I had to get a water meter so that I wasn't over loving these roses and then ultimately killing them. Now, during the heat of the summer, when it's 90 degrees or higher, and in the event that you have sun beating down on it, you're going to need to water it more frequently. You're going to know that your rose needs to drink because you're going to see those leaves start to droop a little bit. And as you become more accustomed looking at that rose on a very regular basis, you'll know what it needs, that it's thirsty, that it needs a fertilizer. So these are all things that you'll learn in time. I hope that you'll enjoy having your roses in a planter, and we'll come back and check on these through the summer so that you can see if this is something that you'd like to consider doing for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you'll subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.